Hi, I'm Matt, and this is my wife, Caitlin. I'm a young face of ALS. I'm a member of the Newtown Athletic Club since January of last year, and in April of 2014, I was diagnosed with ALS.
Well, Matt's illness started a long time ago. I don't really exactly know when to pinpoint it, but it was about October 2012 that I told him to go to the doctor after he had been complaining for months about back and shoulder pain. And at first it was kind of nice. He came home all excited. He said the doctor said it was a pinched nerve, and she pointed exactly where it was, and he started physical therapy. But after about 6 weeks of physical therapy, it wasn't getting better. So they recommended we go see a neurologist, and that was the first time we had heard that it might be ALS.
It wasn't until April of 2014 that I was finally diagnosed, and during that time they're running tests. You're getting blood tests, you're getting needles stuck in your muscles, and just about anything you could think of. And by the time they finally diagnosed me in April, it was like we already knew what it was, but it's still pretty devastating to hear it. It was devastating news for the family that we finally had to share it.
As Matt was saying, it was a really long process to actually get the formal diagnosis of ALS, and as time has gone on, as a wife and a mother, it's been hard to see his body fighting against him, and there's nothing we can do about it. It's hard when the boys want to climb on him and he's exhausted. He can't pick up our 1-year-old sometimes because it's just too physically demanding, and that's hard as a wife and as a mother to see your 1-year-old, who can say dad, dad, mama, saying dad, dad with his arms up, and your husband he wants as much as possible to pick him up, but he just can't. And there really wasn't any hope until this year that there would be a cure, and then ALS Quest and ALS TDI reached out and made Matt one of their YFALs, and it is just what they are doing there just gives us so much hope and so much promise that Matt is going to be there to see our sons graduate, and he is going to be there to see our sons get married and have grandchildren, and it's just really, really important that we support them in their research.
So last spring, I went up to the lab at ALS TDI, and I wanted to see what they were doing up there. I'd spoken with the scientists quite a few times, and they were giving me a lot of promise, but I wanted to see what exactly it was. And I went up there, and they showed me a machine where they could create what they call induced pluripotent stem cells, which are actually clones of my own cells. They create what they're fibroblasts, and they can do a gene sequence, and then through a high throughput screening, they're able to screen. Well, they're going to do 50,000 compounds in the first round and see if any of those normalize my neurons. Initially, the funding for this wasn't really something that was going to make it available in the short term, but thanks to the Ice Bucket Challenge this summer, things moved along a lot quicker, and I was able to get up there in October of this year to get the biopsy, and they are already cloning my cells and creating fibroblasts, and hopefully soon they'll have screened those 50,000 compounds, and we'll know if there's anything of promise. ALS has been known as the mysterious incurable disease for so long now. It's been 75 years since Lou Gehrig made his speech, and there's been no progress since then. For the first time in the history of the disease, there's some real hope. And there's a lot of other patients out there other than myself who haven't yet had the opportunity to go in and participate in a trial like the one that I'm in. And that's why I really feel like it's so important that we can increase funding to help not only myself and my wife and my kids, but so many other ALS patients who are suffering with this disease.
Another reason why we think that ALS Quest, who is partnered with ALS TDI, is a really important lab to give funding to is because they are very unique in that they aren't proprietary over their information. They would obviously love to be the research lab that solves the riddle of ALS and cures all the patients, but really their mission is just to get anybody to save patients like Matt and just give them life. And so it's just so important that this lab and in the medical community, people tend to keep their information private or keep their discoveries private, and ALS TDI is breaking those rules. They just want a cure for this horrible, horrible disease, and it's just so important that they get the funding necessary, because right now not a whole lot of people know about them. They know about the ALS Association, but ALS TDI really needs the funds, and it's really important to give it to them.
We'd love to see you come out on the 28th of February for the workout marathon. It's going to be from 10 to 1, and we're going to be raising funds for ALS Quest, which will go directly to the ALS Therapy Development Institute.